Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to this YouTube video. So today I'm going to show you guys exactly how you guys can master content to actually be able to make sales. So stick around to the very end to make sure that you understand some key action steps so that you can implement and actually start making sales from social media. All right, so I'll show you guys exactly step by step what type of content to post, how you can position yourself so that you can stick out like a sore thumb and then actually be able to generate sales from your content. All right, so let's jump straight into this one. Today's going to be a banger. And I'm gonna get you rocking and rolling. All right, cool. So let's jump straight in today's training. Okay, so the whole point of content is designed to shift beliefs of your followers. Okay, so I really want to help you guys understand the basics of what you guys are doing so that when you guys apply it, it's like not just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Because the thing is that I see that goes wrong with a lot of sales professionals is they legit like, oh my gosh. I've seen like hundreds, if not thousands of profiles at this point that just all post the same thing. It's just them with their customers or a car. And it serves no purpose. And obviously, those people don't know what they're doing, but because you're watching this and because you're one of my subscribers, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe for more content like this, then, you know, the thing is you guys will know what the point of content is. So starting off with that, right? That type of content does absolutely nothing to help shift beliefs and actually get people to actually want to follow you, right? It has no substance. There's nothing behind it, right? So what you want to go ahead and do is be very intentional with your content, okay? Because of the fact that your content is designed to shift beliefs, people that are influenced to see the world the way that you do will actually buy your product, okay? So that's the thing that you want to do with your content. Be intentional. So if people believe what you believe about your product and service, they will buy. So another thing that I want you guys to understand is that with your content, 70% of the sales actually happens 70% of the sale actually even happens before they even come into contact with the dealership. So like the whole point of this is that because we have access to the internet now, people like know all the pricing, all the, facts about a vehicle before they even, hop on to purchase a car from you. So you want to understand that you want to be a part of that decision-making process in the beginning before they even get to the dealership. Because as a sales professional, if you're only dealing with the 30% that comes in through the door, all your job is to get the deal done. But like what you want to do as a marketer is to get in front of those people before the 70%, right? And be a part of the 70%. So this will help you separate yourself from every dealership in your area and every other sales professional, right? And it'll make you stick out like a sore thumb because, again, nobody knows what to do when it comes to their content. It's a bunch of BS, really dumb stuff. So moving forward from that point, okay, you want your content to be intentional and you want to actually be a part of creating content so you can shift your customers' beliefs, okay, so that you can actually get your followers up and create your own following. I'm going to create a video on how to blow up your followers in the first place, but this one's specifically going to focus on the content, okay? So moving forward with this, you need to know what specific sub-niche your content is for in car sales. And I need to emphasize this, okay? Very, 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 very important as to understanding like who you're making your content for, all right? Because you don't just want to make your content for everybody and anyone, right? That's not going to help you sell people, right? Because if your message is for everyone, then it's for nobody, right? And so when you think about what your sub niche is, you want to think about the clients that have, number one, have the most money, number two, paid you the most, and number three, are easy to find online, right? The most common people that you deal with on a daily basis, that every time you see that type of person, you're like, fuck yeah, that's the best, right? I want to deal with that type of person. So the reason being is because if your content is then niched down to like the type of person that you want to deal with, then it's going to be able to speak volumes over anybody else because it's going to cut through the noise like a hot knife because, a bunch of stuff is out there. And if you can be very specific about the type of, content that you put out, then it's going to be, very much big for you. All right. So I want to make sure that, okay. So moving forward, right, I want you guys to understand that content is designed to do three things, all right? And people say this all the time, but people buy from people they know, like, and trust, okay? So the whole point of your content is to create a relationship with your client. So that's what's going to pre-sell them so that by the time they walk into the dealership, they're already ready to rock and roll. They want to buy from you. They already know that they want to buy from you. So the know part is just getting exposure. Liking you is getting people to relate with you and like being like, oh, this is my person. This is the person that I want to associate with, and this is the person that I want to do business with. Number three is trust you, right? There's a lot of misconceptions around car sales and people that are in the automotive industry because, they're known for ripping people's heads off. They're known for being sleazy because, the industry gets a bad rap. But, if you're here, you're not that type of person. You actually want to grow a legitimate business and actually grow in the long term. So moving forward into that, right, elaborating on each type of content. So in order to do those three things, I focused on three main types of content, okay? So the first one is value, right? And this is my favorite one. And obviously, if you've watched any of my content, I just give out a ton of value. I give out the farm. I educate. I'm naturally somebody that is inclined to like teaching people because I like to learn, right? So when you give away the farm, right, in terms of, the entire industry secrets, how to buy a car, how to look for a car, how to negotiate, how to put down a pencil, like, you educate your customers. Think about your valuable content as if you're telling your, mom, like, what it is when it comes to purchasing a vehicle, and you want them to get the best deal possible, avoid all of the pitfalls of purchasing a vehicle, so on and so forth, right? So speak to your customers as if they're your family. Also educate your buyers on their problems, right? On how to solve them, right? And then last but not least, people also like to be entertained as well. So if you can be entertaining or make some type of video that has some entertaining substance, that'll be great for you, okay? So that's really what value revolves around, is giving away the farm, giving away educational content to actually be able to learn and teach, right? So moving forward is personal connection, okay? So personal connection is going to be really big. It's going to be the reason as to why people resonate with you over anybody else or any other dealership, because they naturally like what you stand for. Because again, you have to stand for something, otherwise you stand for nothing. That's a recurring theme that you're going to understand while you are putting together your marketing material and your marketing messages, right? So when it comes to your three pillars of your brand, think about like what you are, um, what makes you up other than just car sales and business, right? That's not even one of my pillars in my brand, right? But to give you an example, like my personal brand pillars are fitness, right? They are their modern day masculinity, right? And then, like the stuff that I personally like. I like that type of stuff, and marketing, right? Those are my three brand pillars. Those are the things that I associate myself with, right? And when people watch my stuff, they're like, oh yeah, this guy's awesome. Like this is what he's about, right? Also, there's family, God, a few other things that I personally like, and I like a lot. So, inject that into your content so that people can relate to you, right? Because that's what's going to allow people to not compete on price. Like this is the thing that you have to understand. Like people will much rather pay a premium to do business with somebody that they know and they relate to, rather than just do business with anybody out on the street, because they could, but they'll go to you because they relate to you and they trust you. They feel like you're their sales professional and that you're their person out in that local area that they can really trust. So establish those three pillars of your brand so that you can start making content around sharing your thoughts, ideas, and opinions about your brand pillars, and just documenting your lifestyle in general, right? Like what it's like being a sales professional, and kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis outside of the workplace that allows you to create that personal connection with them. Also, the other thing that I want you to create is what I call your transformation story, right? Some really good examples of people that do transformation stories are like Gary Vee, Alex Hormozy, and I'll kind of get into them in just a moment, all right? So with your transformation stories, you want to really lay out who you were, what your come up story is, where you are now, and then where do you want to go, okay? So to give you an example of my personal self, right? So who I was I used to live with a single parent, and I was dirt poor. My come up story was I started my business when I was 18, started door knocking, selling marketing services. Where I am now is I'm growing and scaling this business right now to a multiple seven-figure to eight-figure company, helping sales professionals like yourself actually grow. Where do I want to go next? Is retire my mom and actually purchase her a home, right? So those are some of the things for myself that I've been focusing on that's really important. And that's part of my transformation story. And if you watched any more of my content, then you know that these are things that I care about and that are important to me. So for yourself, right, that's important for you to actually think about. Everyone has your own story. And like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I want to relate to you guys if this is something that you're struggling with and that you're a little bit antsy about sharing your life online. I was too, 100%. But it's what actually builds a genuine connection. And I remember the reason why I was uncomfortable about it was because I don't like sharing like my personal side of things, but it's really what actually allows you to be vulnerable with people, and that actually allows you to build the genuine connection, because people forget about the valuable part, but they remember who you are as an individual, what you stand for, and the things that you are trying to do with your life, right? So that's why, like, off the top of my head, I can think of like Gary Vee. His, he was an immigrant that came to America, was dirt poor. His come up story was he was working at his father's wine shop for a very long time. Now he owns Vaynerchuk Media, which is a marketing company. And where he wants to go is he wants to own the New York Jets, right? So like those are another thing. That's like just me being able to rip that off the top of my head shows you how well Gary has been able to do that for his own personal brand, right? So for example, with Alex Hormozi, he was freshly out of college. His come up story was he started a gym, was sleeping on the floor, and was really hustling and grinding to really get it going. Where he's at now, he owns acquisition.com, where he owns portfolio companies and invests into other companies that he can actually help grow and scale. And where he wants to go from now, he wants to be a billionaire, right? So like those are things that when you think of Alex Hormozi, that's where you already like can associate and draw a connection with him, and on a different personal level. And like we're not even. I relate to that story in terms of his come up story, and even though he's a completely different person and Gary's a completely different person, I have drawn a personal relationship with them just through their content, because I've watched it a lot and I relate, and I'm like, oh, okay, so they get it too. A lot of people are going to see your story, love your story, and actually be able to separate yourself. So this is the other thing, that you're going to continue to stack things in your favor that's going to help you separate yourself from everybody else, that allows you to really get away from the noise, right? And so to loop back on the value, the other thing is that you want to do is make a list of all the false beliefs your customers have, and then make videos breaking those beliefs, right? So some examples of that is I have to spend, hours at the dealer, right? Or, I have to have a certain amount of money down, or I can't afford XYZ car unless I have XYZ requirements, right? Like you can go and list out a ton of the false beliefs, and then create a bunch of videos that break those false beliefs on like how, like, it only takes you about an hour if going to the dealership can be very easy and can only take up to an hour if you have these few things in line, right? So then those are pieces of content that you can create that gives value, that helps them shift their beliefs and help them understand that there are things that they can do that will allow them to make the process a lot easier. And so you're shifting your followers' beliefs when you post these types of content, okay? So yeah, that was value. That's personal connection. Last but not least, social proof. This is also very important, right? Share that other people trust you and that they should as well, right? So, share that, people are buying from you. They actually want to be doing business with you. And so take photos and videos of your customers, them explaining their experience with you, and, post that online and then tag them, right? That's going to allow you to build that social proof and that trust, right, with them. So getting people to know you and like you come from value and personal connection. Getting people to trust you comes from the social proof. And if you have those three things in your content, then it's going to be very good, okay? So that's the whole point of your content, is to inject and build that relationship and give and deposit value before you extract any value from that person, because that's how you make the sale, all right? And now, last but not least, are what I call call to actions, right? So if you don't ask, they won't come, right? So put together a post that tells anyone to come buy from you, you know, to basically come and buy from you. That's it, right? Like, who's looking for a car this week? Like, it's as simple as that. Like, people do that and they don't make sales though because they didn't do the other parts that I just showed you. So you have to be able to create an audience by depositing value, by showing what you do is different than other people as well, and then create posts, like what I call to actions. Hey, you know, if you're looking for a vehicle this week, or hey, if you need help doing research on a specific vehicle, or hey, whatever it is, blah, 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 you know, shoot me a DM and I'll help you out personally, right? So that's a big part of this whole process as well, okay? So call to actions are extremely important. So those are the three main types of content. So some examples of what you guys could do for a content calendar, right? So you can do this consistently is you can do, if you were to post every single day of the week, right? You can do two value pieces that break beliefs, right? Two personal connection posts, two social proof posts. You should be selling at least 2 cars a week. If you're watching this, I hope you are. And then call to actions, you can do that once a week, right? So you can do that in that cycle where you're posting every single day and you have a different type of post to do. So then you can schedule them out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, have a different type of post so that you can continue looping and cycling through them so that you have a consistent schedule and a consistent basis. So it's just like, again, not it's intentional, it's structured, and it's not just everywhere, right? So that's going to be very big for you. So like I promised at the end, I'm going to give you some key takeaways and some action steps so that you can go and implement this for yourself and actually get to work, right? So I want you guys to understand that people watch content to learn, be entertained, and buy something. So what I want you to do is go find other salesmen that are online and that are doing well and emulate their types of content, right? Like just to get some content ideas. And then what I want you to do is create 3 value posts, 3 personal posts, and 3 social proof posts, and then start posting, okay? And then throw stuff at the wall until you find what sticks. That's the process of finding content and what naturally comes to you, right? So that you can actually be able to design this. But I want you to understand that you want to be intentional with your content. And then last but not least, the key here is to be consistent with everything that you do. So go ahead, take this information, go ahead and implement it. If you found this video helpful, then give it a like, subscribe to the channel, or give me a comment, all right? Ask questions, and I'll be happy to help you out. But if you want my help personally doing these things, then use a link down below in the description to actually book in a call with me. And then from there, I can actually help you grow and scale. But to be very extreme, very clear, we don't work with beginners. You have to be doing at least 5 to 10K a month and actually be able to invest into your own marketing, right? So anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Peace.